Have you ever heard of Wayside School? Wayside School, the 30-story building out in Bat Cave, Nebraska. Never heard of it? Ha! Well, if this is your first Wayside story, then boy, do we have a story for you. Some kids are in a pickle here, and you have to know all about it. But before I get into that nitty-gritty of what's going down at Wayside, let me give you some background first. See this guy? This is Lewis the construction worker. When he was hired to build Wayside School 37 years ago, he was supposed to make it a one-floor building with 30 rooms. But, well, Lewis wasn't really paying attention when he was reading the blueprint, because he ended up building the school sideways, resulting in 30 floors with one room on each floor. Now, thanks to him, students have to walk up a crazy amount of stairs just to get to class every day, especially those on the 30th floor. Oh, sure, call me out. But if it wasn't for me, none of those kids would exercise. Wayside started out sideways from the beginning, so it's no surprise the school has some sideways ways itself. Just check out the kids on the 30th floor, Miss Jules' 4th grade class. There's Joe, who's a whiz at math, but seems to approach problems in pretty strange ways. 20 times 3. $100. Then there's Cherie, who also has an interesting way of spending class. Joy, who has a thing for causing trouble. And John, he has a special way of reading. And of course, we can't forget about Mrs. Jules, the helm of the class. Okay, class, now someone tell me 5 times 2. 3. 200. Very good. Heck, the only normal kid in the class is Myron. He doesn't do much. You see, Wayside School is a kooky school. And today, it just got kookier. Mrs. Jules is going on vacation to the Bermuda Triangle, so Wayside had to get a substitute for her class. It's always very hard for the school to find a substitute because, frankly, no one wants to work at Wayside School. It's too weird. But alas, someone was found. Someone who'd never worked there before. Someone fresh. Someone different. And who is this someone, you might ask? Well, none other than Mrs. Gorf. Mrs. Gorf, Miss Jules' latest substitute. And man, is she something else. With the crazy unibrow, menacing demeanor, and scary eyes, Mrs. Gorf is kind of terrifying. She's nothing like Mrs. Jules. Why does her eye twitch like that? She smells like stale bacon. The kids were very skeptical of Mrs. Gorf, but then they thought, this is Wayside. They deserve to give her the benefit of the doubt. Good morning, class. My, such beautiful morning faces. Right back at you, Mrs. Gorf. But that benefit of the doubt quickly turned to just doubt. There is no talking in Mrs. Gorf's class. Oh, sorry. I had no idea that was a rule. I said, no talking. I would just apologize. No talking! Wiggling her ears and sticking out her tongue, Mrs. Gorf turned into a nightmare. Mrs. Gorf! You turned Joe into an apple! Yes, I did. And the same will happen to all of you if you break any of my rules. Rule number 1, no talking. The kids were shocked. They wanted to ask Mrs. Gorf what other rules there were so they wouldn't turn into apples themselves, but they were too scared of her. To communicate this question, John decided to write a note. I can't read this. It's upside down. Illiteracy is cause for elimination, my dear. Well, Mrs. Gorf, it's hardly illiteracy. I just prefer to read with the letters upside down. Mrs. Gorf was reckless. John couldn't help that he could only read upside-down letters. She didn't have to turn him into an apple. The class was absolutely terrified. No one knew what to do. Pretty soon, Mrs. Gorf found a reason to turn every kid into an apple. No stealing! Oh, I'm just borrowing. No sleeping! What time is it? Mrs. Gorf was nuts. She turned kids into apples for all sorts of reasons. Chewing gum, making noise, and even sneezing. Finally, Myron decided to speak up. Mrs. Gorf, this isn't fair. We're just kids. You can't expect us to be well behaved all the time. We're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. How brave of you, standing up for your friends. Elimination. Oh, come on. Mrs. Gorf had eventually zapped so many students that soon she had no more. Oh, rats. Mrs. Gorf wants to take her apples with her and make herself an apple stew. I can't watch this anymore. Stop it, Mrs. Gorf. Stop! You can't turn these kids to stew. Come on, everyone. Help me out. Tell Mrs. Gorf, turn those kids back into children. Now, come on, everyone. Mrs. Gorf, turn those kids back into children. Help me out, guys. Back into children. Back into children. Back into children. Okay, fine. You win. Phew. That was close. Good work, guys. Oh, me again! This is not the end, Mrs. Gorf. We're getting the principal. Oh, no, you don't. Myron! Ah! Hey guys, Miss Jules wanted me to check in. Oh. An apple. Don't mind if I do.